Alright, so today I'm going to be looking at seekmomentum.com. This looks to be like basically your digital marketing company type website. And the first thing that I noticed on this page was you got this play button here on this video that's not quite centered. And I am not blocking anything, so this is not an issue that I'm creating on my end. So let's just go ahead and hit the play button, make sure it plays. It opens in a modal. Okay, I mean, I guess that's a design decision, and it's not the one that I would have made, and I can't close it by clicking on the close button. That's interesting. If I click in the empty space around the video, it closes. What if I hit the escape key? Okay, it closes on the escape key. Now my curiosity is piqued. I'm going to inspect this and see if it tells me anything interesting. So this is part of some kind of hustle plugin framework, something that I've never heard of, and I haven't looked it up yet, so I don't know if this is a third-party solution or if this is maybe something that they've thrown together in-house. The hustle thing. So I've already looked at it via the Ahrefs plugin. It claims that there's no sitemaps, but there is a sitemap. I already verified that. So I wonder if they have a Twitter profile, since they seem to be missing that stuff. There's really no reason you shouldn't have alt text for logo images. But it looks like just about every image on the page is probably missing alt text. That's really disappointing. Just curious to see if they link to any external websites. It looks like all of their links are internal. Not really important. I'm just going through the list of things here to see what we got. And I already looked at the headings tags, and I thought they looked pretty good until we get down here to the footer. Your H4s here, those should be H3 if they're going to be headers at all. And also at the top here, we've got an H3 right after your H1. That is incorrect hierarchy. Let me see, companies that trust. So that is this text right here. That should be an H2. Let's check that text in the footer. So we've got driven by results and then services, resources, company. So though, okay, yep, that makes sense. Where's the driven by results? So that's all the way up there. And the reason I'm looking at this, you've got driven by results, which is an H2, and then you've got these, which are subheadings of your H2. It doesn't logically make sense in this case, because this driven by results, that's like a heading for the content in this section of the page, and then your H4s down here, these are all headings for this section of the page. And I still think these should be H3s, but we would want, ideally, we would want another H2 for this section. If you couldn't come up with any text that makes sense as an H2 for your footer section, that's understandable. I don't think that these headings for your list should be H2s, because that doesn't make logical sense to me. I mean, making your logo and your company name Momentum the H2 doesn't really make sense to me either for the footer content. You could do it, I just don't think it makes sense. And I just noticed that your back to top button arrow is off center as well. So over in another window, I have already run PageSpeed and Yellow Lab, and I already know that they're using WP Rocket on this website. I was unable to determine if or what page builder and themes that they are using. So it's possible that they're using something in-house developed as far as the WordPress theme goes. But basically what I'm getting at here, your combination of plugins that you're using to build your own website, not as good as it could be, just because of this 25 performance on PageSpeed mobile. Now, I would not exactly say that your website feels like it's slow loading for me, so I can't criticize anything there. I just know the results that I can get using Elementor as the page builder and Elementor's Hello theme as the theme, and then a plugin that is not WP Rocket for caching and optimization type things. I mean, 92 SEO, not bad. Yeah, I can't criticize anything. This links are not crawlable. This is something that can be a real pain in the butt to fix. It depends on a lot of other things, on how easy that's going to be to fix. I'm not going to do a deep dive here, but I didn't look at the desktop score yet. I'm really hoping to see a green performance in the desktop. Nope. You can't even get green numbers on the desktop with your current combination of plugins. That's really sad to me. Anyway, I also ran the page through Yellow Labs on their mobile test, and you get an overall score of D, 24 out of 100. So, yeah, that is what it is. I mean, these are things that typically come along with using WordPress and many plugins and things. And if you're serious about performance, then you care about this stuff. If you're not serious about performance, then you don't. As a result of my experience at my last job, I care about the performance because I was able to figure out how to get all green on just about everything. WooCommerce sites were still a huge challenge. I'll just leave it at that. So, the next thing that I noticed on this site is when I went to the Our Work page, this request proposal button, I don't like what it does here. And I can't really speculate as to how to fix that immediately right now. But the other thing that I noticed that you do not notice as you're watching this video is I heard the fan on my computer ramp up. So let's go ahead and open up our task manager here, and you can see there is a spike in our CPU usage here. So let's just scroll the page, and I don't need to be looking at GPU right now. Let's look at the CPU. So if we scroll the page, and our back to top button is still a little bit off center, but I'm not sure if it's exactly the same as it was before. I got another spike, and I don't know necessarily if that is from this web page or something else. So obviously I've got other things going on my computer right now, so VirtualBox is at the top for CPU usage right now, and Firefox Nightly is the one you want to kind of keep an eye on here, because that's where we are right now. Let's just go ahead and go back to the home page, and I hear my fan ramp up, and you see Firefox Nightly went to the top of the list. And it's going to stay there for a little bit. That concerns me a little bit. It concerns me a little bit. So I'm going to switch modes here a little bit to just look at a different website that I kind of use as a benchmark or a bellwether of what I consider to be more or less acceptable WordPress performance. Now, I haven't looked at this site in quite a few months, so it's quite possible that I'm going to be disappointed here. I'm going to go ahead and do a hard reload on this page. And let's just keep an eye on the Firefox over here. See, it didn't stay at the top of the list nearly as long. And I'll go ahead and scroll here so you can see all the content on this page. So this Fairlawn website, as I said, it's a WordPress website. They're using Elementor as the page builder and the Elementor Hello theme. And a plugin that is not WP Rocket for the caching and you know, fun stuff. Make your page speed insights numbers all green, basically. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this tab, and we'll run a page speed test on the Fairlawn website and see what we get. Now, as I said, I haven't looked at this site in quite a few months, so hopefully they're still good. Alrighty, well, obviously some things have changed on this website and the performance is no longer green. Not even close to green. That's a little disappointing, but it's not surprising to me. I know exactly what has been changed since I last looked at it. Let's check the desktop numbers. Alright, we're still all green on the desktop, so good job there, guys. The people managing this website at this point at least haven't messed up the desktop performance. And you know what? Why don't we just go ahead and we'll run them through Yellow Lab too, just to make sure that the numbers are okay for Yellow Lab too. There we go. We got a 78 out of 100. That's good enough for a B. And it's not terrible for a WordPress website. Now, I know enough that I can like do a deep dive into all of these things. But I just don't think that needs to be done for this little screen recording here. But basically, I am fairly confident that if I was given full reign as far as working on this website, rebuilding it, not even talking about a redesign, because there's not a lot on here that I'm seeing that I don't think I could easily replicate using Elementor. Granted, I'm mainly looking at the main page. I'm not looking at all your other pages too much. But I'm fairly confident I could take your page speed numbers from this to something that looks more like this, where they're all green, at least on desktop and maybe on mobile too. I am fairly confident I can do that. Now this mega menu, that would definitely be a challenge for me to figure out. But I am confident that Elementor has tools to build a decent mega menu at this point in time. Let's go ahead and check out the blog page. So that's kind of interesting. Your cards here, in my opinion, anytime you have like a card design pattern, the entire card should be clickable, but that's not what's happening here. We can actually click on the author's name, and what is that? That is a category. That's a category. So you're using categories. That's cool. Now, is the blog linked on the Fairlawn site? I don't believe it is, but I bet they still have a blog. Well, the blog title seems to be broken. Not just missing, but broken. Not good, guys. I don't know who broke that, but so we don't have any categories here, no dates, but the entire card element is clickable. think there should be some spacing below that image, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm not here to critique this site today, really. So yeah, let's go ahead and look at one of these blog posts here on the Momentum website and see what's going on. Oh, this text here looks a little small, but they seem to be links to headings in the content. Okay, that's like a table of contents. That's not a bad idea. I'm not sure about the layout implementation of it though. It's like right in the middle of your content here, taking up space. Let's say I click one of these, it's going to take me right down to the bottom. There's a lot of movement. And if I hit back, I go back a page, not back to the table of contents. That's why I don't like the table of contents being here, like in the middle of the page. There's enough room here that it could be a sidebar. Now, you've got recent posts as a sidebar on the right, so that's a challenge too. This space here at the top bothers me a little bit. I just feel like it's too much space, but I shouldn't be thinking about design things here. That's not really pertinent to why I'm looking at things here. And I find that interesting. You're using screenshots from Google Search Console here. I didn't even look at the title of the blog post. I haven't been actually like reading any of the text at this point in time. I'm just clicking to look at things and just kind of like getting an overview of how things look to see if anything looks out of place. Now, with your list items here, you are using like a sentence format for each list item, but you don't have a period at the end of each item, so that bothers me. So here, where you're using more of a title case and you don't have a period at the end, that's fine. This one here is definitely using a sentence case. We've got a period here after better, but then not a period for the final sentence in this list item. So yeah, I mean, the blog posting doesn't look terrible as far as like formatting and whatnot. I do like that you've got a posted date as well as an updated date. That's nice to have. Blog author name. You got the blog author bio block type thing at the bottom. These things are all good for SEO and as far as like helping to build trust with the user according to things that I've read. There was one other thing. I mean, look at your headings. Very nice. I don't like that the blog author bio block has a heading of H3. And because your recent post is an H4, this browser add-on is making it a subheading of Elizabeth Berger here. So this is the kind of problem that you run into when your HTML heading elements aren't structured logically. Some software, some programs can interpret the text on your page in an illogical manner. And this applies to search engines as well. It's also an accessibility concern. You know, if someone is using screen reader type software to consume your content on your website, if someone can't see the page and they're just having the text read to them via a screen reader, then they may come away with the perception that these are services that Elizabeth offers. This company is Elizabeth company. I really think I need a better way of explaining these things. I'm absolutely terrible about kind of like scripting out a video, though. I just start recording and see where it takes me. See what happens. The H1 is the blog post title, that's fine. And then your H2s are your primary headings all throughout the blog post, that's fine. So, ideally, for your blog author bio block, I might want to actually see like an H2 of post author for the text, maybe, or maybe you could just have the author's name as the H2 text. That would be fine too. That would at least eliminate one of your headings issues here. Recent posts, that should probably be an H2 as well if it's going to be a heading at all. And I already mentioned the H4s in the footer earlier when looking at a regular non-blog post page. So I'm just going to check the pagination to make sure that works. And again, we see Firefox, jump to the top. I can hear my fans spinning up, and it stays there for an uncomfortable amount of time for such a simple website. It's really working my CPU way more than it needs to. Is this a broken image, or is it just taking a little bit to load? Well, looks like we got a missing image. Oh, no, it just was taking a while to load. Okay. I'm going to assume that one popped in because of lazy load. Let's just inspect that. Yep, there we go. Loading equals lazy. So that's being done in a decent way. Now, earlier I was wondering if they actually had Twitter. There is a little Twitter icon down here. Does that open in a new tab? It does. That's nice. Okay, now that I've gotten logged into a Twitter account, we can see this account doesn't exist. It's still an issue. Let's do a search. So we've got a seek momentum with an extra M at the end. Is this the Twitter account you meant to link to from your website? The branding of your website doesn't match the branding on this Twitter account. So, yeah, I'm a little... And since you haven't tweeted anything since 2013, why link your Twitter account at all if that's the way you're treating it? Okay, the YouTube branding is consistent, so that's good. You don't have Twitter linked in your YouTube. Joined in 2010. Let's check your LinkedIn. Oh, I'm not going to sign into LinkedIn. Let's check Instagram. And it looks like Instagram's not wanting to load for me. That's a me problem, probably. Let's check the Facebook. Okay. So the branding on the Facebook looks consistent with the website, so that's good. So Twitter is probably the only social I would recommend removing from your website. Ah, here we go. The Instagram finally loaded up for me, and again, that's a me problem. I do things that these websites don't like, so. they treat me poorly. So you do have some playlists on here. That's interesting. I may have to spend some more time looking at your YouTube. I don't think I really want to make this video any longer. I do want to look around at the website some more, but at this point I think the video is pretty much done. Mainly just looked at your main page, looked at your blog posts for any issues that jumped out at me, and your social icons. Yeah, the Twitter, I wouldn't link your Twitter if it's not your actual Twitter account, or it's a Twitter account that nobody cares about anymore. I did not look at the contact page, so let's go ahead and check that out at least, see what's going on there. Okay, so there's no Google Map on the contact page. Speaking of Google Map, let's go ahead and go to Google, and we'll just put the company name in to see what comes up. Okay, So we don't have anything coming up in the right-hand panel for Seek Momentum. Has Google changed the way that they do Google My Business again? Or does Seek Momentum, the company, not actually have a Google My Business profile set up for themselves? It's interesting. Let's try Bing. Okay, Bing has a little bit better right-hand sidebar content for Seek Momentum, so that's interesting. You know what? Let's try Google Maps too, because that is another place where you can do your SEO things. So just searching for the business name doesn't get me anything, which is not surprising. Let's go ahead and we'll get your address here. Let's pop that into Google Maps. There we go. So we do have good info in the Google Maps for Seek Momentum, but for some reason it is not showing up in Google for me. And I don't know if it's a me problem or if this is something this company hasn't done as far as the Google My Business profile. But, you know, 4.9 rating, that's pretty good. Pretty good. So you're making your clients happy, and that's what really matters.